Is ITZY destined to flop?
Girls will be girls, will be girls, will be girls. Yeah.
Hey guys, if you saw my previous video, you'd know I had a very strong reaction to ITZY's new mini album, Girls Will Be Girls. If you haven't seen it, I'll have it linked in the iCard in the top corner. With this video, I want to expand a little bit more on my thoughts about the album and how these have changed. So, a bit more formally now, hi! I first want to say that while my opinions on the album have changed somewhat, it's not like suddenly this is my favorite album. But on the opposite end, this isn't a hate video either. I took about 10 days off from uploading while I just sat on the reaction vid because I was unsure what to do about it. On one hand, that was my initial reaction and I wanted to honor that, but it caught me so off guard that an ITZY project sounded and felt so subpar from what I'm used to. So I kept listening to it. In part for my bigger ITZY video I keep teasing, but also out of pure denial. I don't know, call it Stockholm Syndrome or just me getting used to it, but I don't think it's as bad as I initially thought. Before we talk about the album, I first wanted to give a little disclaimer. If my voice sounds a little bit weird or if you can hear some background noise, we are in my car with the AC on because it's hot and there were dogs outside barking. But besides that, let's talk about the album and go song by song. Girls Will Be Girls. Starting off with the title track, Girls Will Be Girls. Before anything else, I want to state that I stand by the fact that I think this is a quote-unquote subpar title track. Lyrically, it's your standard ITZY track, empowerment, friendship, standing together, etc. All in a weird dance pop package. I won't break down any of the lyrics since again, it's pretty straightforward. However, the chorus repeating Girls Will Be Girls got old. Quick. Even though it's only used 3 times, the part itself is so long and repetitive that it makes it feel like you've been listening to it for much longer. So once the instrumental bridge comes to an end and we're hit with it again, I'm already annoyed. But don't get me wrong, the instrumentals in the song are good, for the most part. My main issue with the song is one I believe the whole album, Ignoring Promise, suffers from. These songs are trying to present themselves one way, but I don't think the songs are fully confident in what they're trying to convey. I mentioned in my initial reaction that I feel like the songs either had to commit more or do a little less. The main songs this applies to in my opinion are Girls Will Be Girls, but especially Locked and Loaded and Walk. But I'll talk about those when we get there. Regarding the music video, I think it's a work of art. It's very cinematic with gorgeous shots and scenery. It's like a war or like apocalypse movie inspired. It shows the girls working together to fight and defend each other, echoing the meaning of the lyrics. Going back to the song itself, I wish they did something a little more like either Whiplash by aespa or Good Thing by Idol. So they could lean into more of like an electronic dance song or go more full second gen with auto-tune, vocal layering, and speaking of which, Kiss and Tell. So Kiss and Tell is arguably the best song on the mini, again, for me, Ignoring Promise. However, it's not perfect by any means. Starting off, I really do like the immediate intro. Did you hear that? So did you hear that? It sets a very cheeky kind of playful mood to the song, which I do enjoy. The first verse is also good. The song covers a familiar topic for ITZY, not really caring about the haters or about what people say. That type of message I think could do good as a title track, especially amidst the ITZY hate train and flop allegations. To me, the song falls flat after the pre-chorus. The instrumentals on the chorus sound similar enough to the verses to make me feel like the build-up went nowhere. Again, I love the second gen vibe, the auto-tune, the I don't care attitude, but I just wish they chose something different. The only time it works for me is at the end. The bridge into the final pre-chorus and then the chorus with the high note kinda saved the song for me. It gives you enough time from the verse instrumental to make the build-up of the pre-chorus actually worth it. The high note sounding digitally altered helps this payoff for me. Like, this is the type of music I thought clubs would be playing. But unfortunately, it's a little too late given that I only start liking it at the end. On further listens, this works as something to look forward to and it helps putting up with the parts I like a little less. But overall, this to me is their strongest offering on the album. It's an easy listen that would work as a title track. With minimal changes, I can see this being one of my favorites in their discography. Locked and Loaded. Now for Locked and Loaded. The beginning of the song kinda gives me tonal whiplash in a bad way. I do think there should be a change of pace right where this song is, so it does fit that. but I wish the song sounded a little different. Circling back around to when I said that I wish the songs would commit more, this is one that truly disappointed me. I wish the song had more of the instrumental breaks as guitars throughout. From the first chorus out, the song is fine, they have some pretty good one-liners, but my main issue once again is that I wish they committed. If they wanted to start the song off a bit more slow and calm and end it with a big guitar number, I feel they should have leaned into that dichotomy and contrast more. Think NMIX change up, but it doesn't go back. The song's about like opening up the listener's mind to be under ITZY's control, not like in a dark brainwashy way, I hope. Anyways, imagine the pre-chorus instrumentals just as they are, but after telling you, quote, "it feels like instinct," the drums start to pick up and abruptly stop at "open the gate, I'm storming." And when the chorus starts, it has full guitars and drums. That way, by the time the instrumental part comes in at the end, we can have a more heavy guitar and drum solo, like they're really rocking out. Basically, I want the song to be more rock influenced. Keep in mind, I'm not a fan of rock music generally, but I think this could work perfectly in this spot. Promise. If we want a smoother transition from my alterations to locked and loaded, I think this song could start off with the drums by themselves and then add the piano and really build up the intro. This would add to the runtime, but personally, I think the song can handle it. Thematically, this is, I believe, a fan song, but you can interpret it to be about a loved one or a partner, at least from what I gathered reading the English translations. I genuinely like the song. It talks about the listener being a dazzling star that guards the night sky, ending the chorus by saying, "Will you be my light?" In my first reaction video, I say this song feels out of place. If you've seen any of my other reactions, you'd know I love a ballad. I also know K-pop has a tendency to sneak them in randomly at times, but if we had the small tweak I mentioned to the beginning, I don't think it would be as harsh of a transition. I love the several high notes and the way the song flows. This wasn't meant to be a restructuring video, but here we are. Depending on how I go about this, I feel like the song could be either a great closing track or a bridge between two sides of the album. For this video, I'll do a hybrid since I won't be adding a hypothetical sixth song, even if I feel the album needs it. Walk. And now we're at the end. Walk for me suffers the same way Kiss and Tell and Girls Will Be Girls does. The first one because it sounds a little too samey the whole song. I wish there was more of a distinction between the different parts. It also has the same chorus issue as Girls Will Be Girls. It's pure repetition, this time of the word walk. I feel like the last chorus and post-chorus is the only time it works, because it's closing the song. I mentioned in the reaction that I felt like they were doing a cheap copy of Misamo's Runway without any of the things that made it great, and I still stand by that statement. But how can we change that? Well, this time, I think it's a bit more difficult. My problems with it encompass most of the song, so this is more reconstruction than slight tweaks. Because again, this video wasn't meant to be that, I'll refrain from going too in depth. But to make it fit the previous song, I do a little bit longer of an intro, but adding more machine and button noises, sort of to imply that the song is loading. You could even add a heels walking sound effect that builds up the tempo. For the rest of the song, I don't think I have the proper vocabulary to express kind of what I want, but using Runway as a reference, I like how the intro starts off spoken, and that the first verse, pre-chorus, and chorus are done in a way where you can tell what part they are. I also like that the second chorus builds on the first one by adding an additional part that's sung instead of spoken. The bridge strips it back and builds it back up for one more chorus. Now, in that song, I wish it had an even bigger post-chorus to end it instead of just cutting it off like it does, but what can you do? So if Walk could implement some of these tricks, but also adding more CUNT, I feel like this could be a great closer, especially if they end up with the same walking sounds and fade it out. Damn, I went more into this than I wanted to. If this is very similar to what I say in the ITZY video, please act surprised. Final thoughts. Wrapping things up, I have a love-hate relationship with this album. I said in the beginning my feelings had changed, but all I did was criticize this album, so what gives? So upon first listen, I hated it because of what I wanted it to be. Now I can enjoy aspects of it because I can see what it could have been. So I don't hate this album, but I can't love it either. To answer the title of this video and the question I posed in the beginning, no, I don't think ITZY's destined to flop. However, I can't help but be nervous that, besides the Born to Be album, their recent title tracks have been trending downwards in quality. Like, I love Cheshire, Cake, and I've Warmed Up to Gold, but it feels like they're a sinking ship that JYPE can't seem to control. Like every time they put something out, the flop allegations resurface. While I know they aren't flopping because they're still selling hundreds of thousands if not millions of copies, but the general opinion on these songs keeps going down. No Stacy. I don't know what the general consensus for this song is because I wanted to be unbiased when making this video, but I do know that people prefer Kiss and Tell, and I can't help but agree with them. It is a better song. They've been promoting it on music shows, so maybe this will be their next imaginary friend, but only time will tell. I hope that if we get another ITZY album this year, they'll hit it out of the park with the title and B-sides. However, I feel like I've been saying that for the past few albums. I want to be proven wrong though. I really love the girls and I've been with them for a long time, so their fall from grace feels even worse. We got some hope with the Born to Be album and again with Imaginary Friend, so I know they have it in them. So hopefully they can put out some more hits and great bodies of work so that in the end, we can let the girls just be girls. Thank you so much for making it to the end. This is really different from what I had planned on posting, but I felt like I should clarify my current thoughts. This might also be what I do for Twice's next album because I want both my initial reaction, but also my in-depth thoughts. So, yeah. Thank you guys so very much for watching. Remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Click that bell icon so you're notified every time I post a video. Tell me in the comments down below, what are your thoughts on the album now that it's been out for a little bit? And yeah, remember that I love you guys so much, and I will see you guys hopefully very, very soon. Bye!